Oh my, how are we doing today? Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you here. It's Bruce here with Stock Markets with Bruce. Trying to figure out what to tell you is going on, what to tell you to do, and what's going on. Kind of hard to tell you
Bruce
what's
here
going
with
on
stock markets.
when the world doesn't know what to tell you what to do. we've got we've got some tension out there between the U.S. and China this morning because Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is on her way to Taiwan right now. And the story goes that her delegation left Malaysia and will land in Taiwan and within the hour, I think, hour and a half. And the markets globally are off this morning. It's hard for me. It's impossible for me to tell you what to do. I can't tell you the markets are going to go down 1,000 points today, whether they're going to do nothing, whether they're going to go down 300 and then they're going to recover and do nothing. I can only tell you that it's unlikely the markets are going to go any higher today to any great extent because whatever's going on between China and the U.S. is not good. It's not good politically. It's not good economically. It's not good in any other sense of the word. You have two superpowers that are at loggerheads right now. You've got Russia in the middle of all this crap as well, and we have a speaker that is between a rock and a hard place. Whether she doesn't go to Taiwan, and all the politicians in Washington on the Republican side are waiting to pounce on her if she doesn't. If she does, the Republicans are waiting to pounce on her when she does. And the Chinese aren't happy, and allies are kind of going, well, if the United States won't send a politician to Taiwan, what about the rest of us? Do we cower to China's every whim and wish when it comes to something like this? It's a pickle, and she's going, and I commend her. This lady has more chutzpah than 99% of us. This woman is determined to go. She has the right to go. She has the moral obligation or whatever. I mean, she can go. No one's going to stop her in that sense. What the Chinese are going to do, I don't know. I suspect they're going to wait until after she leaves before they do anything. But right now there are tensions out there, and we just have to kind of wait it out. So for those of us, for those of you who are looking for me to tell you exactly what to trade this morning, I'm in a bit of a impossible situation. I can't tell you what to trade exactly this morning. I can say that it's unlikely the markets are going higher, and economically they weren't going much higher anyway. As far as economics are concerned, we've talked about this forever now. We have got all kinds of problems economically everywhere, not in the US, not in Canada, everywhere. And because the economies of Canada, the USA, North America, Europe, Asia, and all the other continents are interlinked so much now with international trade and travel. Somebody gets a cold over here, somebody starts sneezing, someone's getting a sniffle over here. It's going to spread, and China's economy is in a mess. Europe's economy is tail spinning into a mess, and now the US and Canada's economy are backing off. And this is not going to stop because the Fed raises rates another half a point, or inflation might level off for a while. It just doesn't turn around magically and everything's fine. This isn't Hollywood. It doesn't work that way. This is real life, and it's messy. And we're watching what they say in the business, watching sausage getting made. It's not pretty watching sausage getting made. But when you buy a sausage and you cook the sausage and it's delicious, you go, oh, this is wonderful. This is delicious. This bratwurst is great. Yeah, but you don't want to watch it being made. And so here we are with the Dow off 177 in the pre-market with about 55 minutes to go till we open. S&P down 25 points, NASDAQ down 98. Now, the good news with these negative numbers, 0.5% for the Dow, roughly 2/3 of a percent for S&P, and about 3/4 of a point for Nasdaq. This is not a bloodbath market to open the day. This is one of those tentative, I'm not so sure I want to go long openings of the market. This is where some day traders are backing off, going, I think I'm going to wait, because why should I invest if I don't know the direction of the market? There's no need for me to jump into the market if I don't know where it's going. There's no law saying I must invest at the opening. So day traders might be going, maybe I'll just kind of sit back and just see what's going on. Maybe the action isn't on the floor of the stock exchange today. The action is diplomatic action, which usually is watching paint dry. Usually diplomatic activity is like watching paint dry. We'll see how this goes. Oil is up 55 cents today. There's nothing going on. We dropped, what, $5 a barrel yesterday? We've come back 55 cents today. That's where we're at. We'll watch for that. The overhanging nightmare for the stock market in the next 6 months will be Europe and China. They will lead the U.S. lower and Canada. They will drag us with them. We can't escape it. There's no if, ands, or buts. You add up the amount of trade we do between Europe and the U.S. and Canada, China, the U.S. and Canada, and you take that into an uncertain number and back that off 5%, 10%, you're going to have a recession in North America. We're not immune from this. And any politician out there who wants to blame one party for it, or a president for it, or a Congress for it, blowing smoke out of their butt. It is a global economic meltdown that is happening in various regions for different reasons. China has its own nightmare economy that they're dealing with. They don't want to talk about it. They want to give you the impression of strength and unity and everything's great over here. And they certainly aren't going to tell their citizenry just how bad off they are, because they don't want to have 1.3 billion people get pissed off. They just don't want that. So you keep them afraid, and you keep them in line, and you rule by draconian measures. Russia, you mentioned the word war in Russia, you're going to jail for 10 years. There's a country you want to live in, huh? There's problems all over the place in Europe, from energy reliability to economic slowdowns to higher interest rates to higher inflation. I mean, the Europeans are getting pummeled from every corner you can imagine economically. It is. There's no one thing that is undermining the European economy. And we in North America are the luckiest people around. We have the least of these issues. We don't have energy problems. We produce all the oil and gas we need for ourselves. We're exporters in Canada and the US. We're exporters. Food, we grow it. We export food to the rest of the world. Security, we don't have armies at our borders. We don't have a war 200 miles away from our border going on. So we have the best of the best. The problem is that we need the rest of the planet to buy our goods and produce goods that we want to buy from them. And right now, both are not working very well. And this is where this economy is teetering on a bit of a recession, if it's not already in it. That's why I don't fear the upside when it comes to being an option writer. It all comes back to those of you who follow me here. You have the best of conditions to write options, because you do not have to worry about a market taking off on you. What I can't tell you at the moment, and certainly this morning I certainly can't tell you, is if there's downside in the market, how much is it and how fast will it come? This I can't answer. We're off slightly, like I said today, which is fine. Market wants to be down 0.5 point to 3/4 of a point. No big deal. If we were down 1,000 points on the Dow right now, and 800 on NASDAQ and a bunch on S&P, then we'd be worried. Then we'd have something to talk about. But we don't have that yet, but she hasn't landed yet either. So see what's going on. What will China do? Lots of options. They can just put on a show of force. They can conduct missile drills. They can, they can play the military card. Will they invade Taiwan with a military strike? I doubt it. Will they send missiles to Taiwan to just blow up people's apartment buildings? I doubt it, because the Chinese have to weigh the consequences of any of their actions, and they're just taking a look at what's happening in Russia, and they got to ask themselves, well, do we want? Are we prepared to tolerate the Western world shutting us off from their marketplace, and walking out of our system? And how many hundreds of millions of Chinese are dependent on Western business to be done, exporting, importing? China is not self-sufficient, self-reliant. They need the outside world to deal with them for them to make things work. Sure, they can impose harsh measures on themselves and get away with it, but that's not the big, that will then ultimately hurt them militarily in the long run as well. So I don't know. It's a sticky one this morning. It just is, and it's not often that the markets find themselves in the middle of a superpower tug of war going on. But we've got one. It's a three-way. And the Russians are doing themselves no favors whatsoever. And the Chinese now, with their saber rattling nonsense, doing themselves no favors either. But hey, I'm just a homeless guy in a hotel room trying to tell you that there's all kinds of tension out there in the market, and you should be aware of it. And you might not like the message I'm giving you today, but you better know about it. And I don't know if you're getting this message anywhere else. I hope you are. I hope other media is on it, but I don't know. I'm just, like I say, I'm just one guy who's been around a while to see this nonsense, and just giving you the scoop on what's happening from where I sit. And thankfully, I am sitting in North America, like most of you who watch me. Majority of you, minority of you are around the world, and I welcome you all to the show today, the channel, and hopefully things will go off without a hitch, and we'll just continue on to study business and everything else. Now, I noticed this morning some news, and I wanted to mention this to you. There's a guy whose name I can't pronounce, and some of you who've been here a while know who I'm talking about. This is this guy, something with a P, Palapapenia, whatever his name. I can't pronounce it. And I can't pronounce a lot of names. So I'm consistent. But this is the guy that created a bunch of SPACs through his hedge funds in the last 3 years, up until obviously when they stopped being made, which is a year ago. It's the last time we saw SPACs come out. Kalmuth, Palapapana, Patapatania, whatever his name is. Apparently his hedge fund has taken a massive shellacking. Word has it, it's down 84% in value. It was once $1 billion. It's probably worth now $150,000 or 100. I don't know what it was worth. $1 billion. It's 150 million. Whatever the number. It's a fraction of what it was. It's 10, 20%, 15% of what it was. And I read this story in the Wall Street Journal, and I looked at the headline. Didn't give it away. Didn't mention this guy until like the third paragraph. Finally, it revealed who we're talking about here, and I guess the stock that did him in and is doing in the fund is it Spotify, the online company that last week got shellacked in the marketplace. Just got, yeah, there it is. There's the name I cannot pronounce. Thank you, fellas. This guy. Okay, well, I'm going to refer to him as CP from now on. CP, that's this guy. All right. Um, Apparently, he ended up with a ton of stock in, I think it's, I want to say it's Spotify or Shopify. It's one of the, there's so many that sound similar. And again, you got to forgive me. It's a Canadian company actually, and it was a high flyer for years, and they misread the market, and their uh, sales are way off, and their earnings are off, and now they're laying off people, and it's just a disaster. And here's people being so kind to me to try to help me with this, and his name is CP. Okay, that's who this guy is. Anyway, yeah, this guy was involved in SoFi. He was the SPAC that was created, that SoFi ultimately took over, but he long ago walked away from SoFi. He has long ago sold off. I think the last stock he sold was $8 to $10. He blew out at 12. He blew out at 15. He blew out at 20. He's gone. He's gone. I don't believe he's even involved in any way with SoFi anymore. And the deals that SoFi has made since the merger of the takeover of his SPAC, of the CP SPAC, um, would have diluted CP to the point where he is not even I'm not sure if he's even a 0.1% shareholder anymore. He's really not a factor. But the stigma is there. Okay. Now, I read something else this morning that also caught my eye, and that is that there were some other funds mentioned, other hedge funds mentioned, that are really getting the crap kicked out of them. And you and I have been talking about this for months, that there are all kinds of hedge funds out there in big trouble, but they're not necessarily going to be front page news of every publication in the world, because these guys don't have to report their activities all that much, especially depending on where they're based. If these hedge funds are based in jurisdictions where you don't have to come clean on who you are and what you do and what you're investing in and how you're doing, then you'll never know. The only way you're ever going to know is through insider leaks from these entities, or indirect knowledge, people familiar with the matter, as they used to say. But I did read in this article that a number of hedge funds, private hedge funds, are in trouble because they have leveraged themselves dramatically on their investments. This is exactly what I've been talking about. I've been talking about how the derivatives market has created an absolute nightmare for hedge funds who doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on their bets through derivatives trading and got their clock clean. They got absolutely nailed with the wrong holdings at the wrong time. They misread the direction of the market. They misread the direction of the sentiment of investors. They thought software would be hot, but it was hardware, or they thought hardware would be the way to go, and it was software, and all this, miscalculation. Well, welcome to the stock market. The stock market is a very democratic institution. Anyone can buy whatever the hell they want as long as you got the money. And if you can find a seller, you can buy from them. If you can find a buyer, you can sell to them. And you don't have to know who the other party is, because you go to the market, and you just go to the market to do your trades, and you don't know who the other side is, and you don't care, and you don't have to know who the other side is. But eventually, those of us observers, those of us who are observers on the outside here, we start to hear stories and tales of woe and tales of success of those who guessed right and those who guessed wrong. And sometimes the wrong guessers are spectacularly wrong, and they really blow it. And so we've heard now blow-ups of all kinds of entities here and there from time to time. This morning, Swiss Bank got downgraded because they are just bleeding money all over the place. Now, you'd think the Swiss are pretty sharp people, and they are. Swiss are very intelligent people. That country is filled with a lot of intellectuals. So, I mean, they really should be viewers of this channel, really. I mean, they're intellectuals like you guys are. But even Swiss Bank got caught with their pants down, and the exposures they have had are just are nightmares. And I'm getting the impression that it is possible that the Swiss bank not only is exposed to a bunch of hedge funds that are having problems, they're exposed to a bunch of hedge funds who have leveraged themselves into huge mega problems. And at the end of the day, it could well be that Swiss bank has loans outstanding through leveraged investments and all kinds of fancy dancy instruments, financial instruments, that at the end of the day, their clients can't cover the VIG. They can't cover the loss. They can't cover the loan. They can't cover the interest rate. And now Swiss bank is realizing all of these, a whole bunch of their activities that they have been setting up, loans and guarantees and all this, are now turning into absolute liabilities to the bank, because the bank has to guarantee the customer's activities, and the bank is losing billions and billions and billions. And there's turmoil in head office, turmoil in the management ranks, and all kinds of turmoil in every level of that entity. And I'm sure that they've probably got all kinds of insurance claims out there to try to recover lost money, and their insurance companies are probably investigating the nature of these arrangements to see if they fall inside the spirit of the insurance policy. Did you, the bank, get duped, or were you, the bank, stupid enough to lend these guys money without the guarantees you were supposed to get, and all of this sort of? If you didn't follow all your paperwork and didn't do all of your due diligence going into the deal, you have no insurance. It's your money. You're risking it. And it just keeps coming up more and more. It's messier and messier and messier than thought. And I am thinking to myself, it can't just be Swiss bank. It can't possibly just be one bank out of thousands of banks around the world that have caught themselves or got themselves caught into a mess like this. There have got to be more. And as this market, this stock market, the oil market, the gold market, the metals market, the commodities market, all these markets, and some of you have heard the mess of the metals market in the UK, the trading of nickel and other commodities went just ridiculous. I am waiting for the other shoe to drop. I am waiting for other institutions of very high renown, senior, well-respected global brand banks to start coming out with loan loss provision upgrades. Okay. You know what that means? We're writing off $1 billion because we screwed up lending money to these guys, or these guys didn't pay us, or these guys owe us $5 billion and we only got $3 billion out of them. They're bankrupt, waiting for private hedge fund lenders, borrowers, to basically to the point where the banks are going to go, this guy isn't going to be able to pay us back. Those guys over there can't pay us back. Those guys can't pay us back. And I'm waiting for hundreds of banks to come clean, not 2 or 3 or 4, talking about a ton of these guys, and they're everywhere. Look, New York, Wall Street, where investment bankers hang out, pretty sharp people, very sharp, very strong due diligence departments. They're pretty thorough when it comes to arranging loans. There's lawyers everywhere on behalf of the banker, on behalf of the hedge fund, on behalf of investors, lawyers everywhere to safeguard deals, do due diligence. But with millions of transactions being done on a daily basis, an annual basis, it's hundreds of millions of deals with trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars changing hands, of which so much of it is leveraged trading. There will come a time, from time to time, where an anvil will hit the floor, and it'll come from way on high and land on the floor, and everyone in the room goes, where did that come from? And what is this all about? And no one can lift it up and get it out of there. Now you have to cut it apart. Um, this is the kind of stuff I'm wondering when it happens. When's the next one? The Nomura Bank people had an issue. Morgan Stanley almost had an issue, but Credit Suisse, they have it. They have an issue. And the thing is, for us on the outside, we, the public, the only reason we're hearing about the Credit Suisse nightmare is because Credit Suisse is a publicly traded entity. And so we're hearing all about it. They have to file reports. They have to file reports with their regulators in their country. They have to file reports with regulators outside of their country where they do business, and they're global. And so in America, in the UK, and Germany, they have to do filings. And so these filings have to be true, plain disclosure of what's really going on. So it's kind of hard for them to hide their problems. Deutsche Bank has had issues. Other banks have had issues over the decades. We've always heard about their trials and tribulations, billions written off and what have you. Now the question is, what about the banks out there that are not publicly traded banks? What about banks that are from African countries or from Middle East countries or from South American countries? What about national banks that are, owned by the government of the country but run as a bank? What about some of these guys? How many of these guys have got exposure to the same deals that are crippling and just annihilating Credit Suisse's reputation right now and balance sheet? How many other players are out there just like these guys that we are not yet hearing about? And will we hear about their nightmares when another event takes place? Perhaps a depositor with bank whatever can't seem to get the money transferred through that bank efficiently anymore because that bank is insolvent. The reason it's insolvent, because it was involved in these deals over here that it's not talking about. When will these shoes drop, these anvils come down and tell us, oh, those guys aren't in business anymore, those guys are out, those guys are out? That's what I'm wondering about. Markets going lower don't necessarily make them all show up at once. But markets that have backed off, like we've seen the big markets in the US and Europe now, if this continues on and we have a slowdown economically that is going to become worse than the analyst had feared, which I think it is, how many anvils are going to hit the floor all over the place from angles for areas of the area we had no idea they were in trouble, or we'd never heard of these guys before. Never heard of this company before, and oh my God, they lost $5 billion. Who are these guys? What did they invest in? How is this possible? And then as the forensic accounting gets done, more and more of the facts come out, and we go, oh my God, they are connected with those guys. They're connected with those guys. They're connected with these guys. And then we investigate all the others around them and go, oh, they too are into this contagion mess. This is the economic meltdown of 2007, 2008, 2009. The thought and what you've been told and what you've heard out there since 08, 09, it was the housing crisis. That's all it was. It was the housing crisis in the United States. Well, that actually didn't do in the financial business. The fact that people didn't pay mortgages back in 07, 08, 09 because they were juggling 5 properties at a time, that didn't do in the banking system, or possibly would have done in the entire US banking system. What did it in was the leverage of bets that were made by the US banking system and the investment community at large, that they would take $5 billion of mortgages, package them up into one big old package, and then flog that. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that there were 1,000 to 1 bets placed on this $5 billion. That was the problem. And when the bets couldn't be paid off by the bookies, which was AIG and other entities out there, they couldn't pay off the payoffs. That's where the problem began, because now one institution was on a hook for another, to another, to another, to another. And all the gamblers out there were going, there's winners and there's losers. The losers can't pay the VIG. They can't pay what they owe their bankers, because they didn't think that their 20-to-1 long shot bet would cost them $250 million. They thought, well, we might lose a couple of million, but we could make 10 million. Then they had a bill for 250 million and went, I haven't got that. I didn't realize I'd be that much in the hole, because I didn't think the entire housing market in the United States would collapse onto itself, because no one thought the U.S. housing market would collapse, but it did. So it was the bets on the bets. That's what did it in. And right now, we still have this going on in an unregulated derivatives market running out of London and elsewhere on everything that you can imagine. There are bets going on car loans. There are bets going on student loans. There are bets going on commercial loans. There are bets going on equipment everywhere. And right now with the Russia-Ukraine thing, this is screwing everything up. This is really creating a monkey wrench, because there are certain entities out there who are exposed to deals that were connected to Russia-Ukraine. And that's affecting their liquidity on the rest of their business that's outside of Europe and everywhere else. And now stealing from the outside to pay off the bets on the inside. And they are in big, big trouble. And we're hearing constantly about entity so-and-so, investment banker such and such, investment outfit so-and-so, and a company such and such, talking about having to write off millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of investments made in Russia over the last 20 years. Apartment blocks, condos, shopping malls, factories, business arrangements that have been blown out of the water, leasing deals that have all been blown out. There's an absolute nightmare going on in the financial world. And when it starts with Russia, that's the 22nd largest economy in the world, one would think, oh, so what? What's the big deal with these guys? They're not like, it's not like Germany is going under. It's just Russia, economically Russia. And the problem is that, as I said before, the world is interconnected in business, and Russian money and money into Russia and money out of Russia is everywhere. And people love making money easily. They like easy money. And so, as I've said here a few times, there used to be a lot of viewers that would watch me a year ago and say, just tell me what to buy this morning, Bruce. What penny stock do you recommend right now on the over-the-counter market that someday is going to become Apple? That's all I'm after. That's all I need, Bruce. You don't have to go into the theory of the market. You don't have to tell me all about this stuff in China and all that. I don't want to hear that. I just want to know, what's the symbol, the stock symbol? Is it trading at 15 cents a share? Should I buy it at 15 and it's going to go to $15 in the next couple of months? That's all I really need. And if you give me that, I'm out of your hair. You'll never hear from me again, because once I flip my 25,000 shares and make all that money, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Well, that's the hope, wish, and dream of every speculator out there, but they never win. This never happens. There's no such thing as that kind of thing. Everyone thinks about this overnight success story that's out there, and so they're searching for it. Hedge funds are exactly the same, looking for overnight successes. And really successful hedge fund managers, how do they make their money, really? What they do is they're experts, and they're very good at attracting other people's money into their fund, and then using that pot of capital to grow it into other investments. And as those pay out and get larger and larger, they attract even more capital, because, well, look at these guys. They've taken $100 million and turned it into $300 million. Well, I'll put in $50 million. I'll put in $20 million. Next thing you know, they're sitting on $1 billion. And if they can turn $1 billion into $1.5 billion a year or two later, another billion comes in, and they keep growing with other people's money and they leverage it up. And you got the guy at the top of the pyramid who is the owner of the hedge fund, the key partner with 25 managing partners underneath that top of that pyramid. These top 25 people are generating phenomenal fees and commissions and bonuses by making money for all these other people. But in reality, what are they generating? 6% a year, 8, 10, 12% a year. But if you can make 10% a year on other people's money, and that money is a million times more dollars than you will ever have in your personal lifetime, you're generating 10% off the top of the pyramid, this massive $5 billion fund. You're generating $500 million in returns. If $100 million is paid off to the top 25 guys, 20% of the profit, not an unusual arrangement. These top guys are splitting up $100 million. It's $4 million a guy if it's evenly split. If the top guy gets 20 million and the rest get the remainder, top guy just made 20 million this year. Where are you getting a day job that makes you $20 million a year? Now, that kind of return brings you another $2 billion into the pot, and you generate another 10% return on this. You're now talking the possibility of $1 billion return, $200 million in monies to be divvied up. The top guy now gets 40 million this year. That's how this game is played, kids. So when it goes great, it goes great. But when it doesn't go great, you don't lose 1% on your fund. You lose 40% on your fund, 60% on your fund, because you over leveraged your fund. You took the 5 billion you had and multiplied it by a factor of 10 to $50 billion. You're now into the market for 50 billion. And if the market loses 5% of its value, you've just lost $2.5 billion. You only have $5 billion of capital. That's half your capital. And so you offload all these bets and pay everybody out, and it comes out of your 5 billion, which is not your 5 billion, it's your investors' 5 billion. You've just reported to your investors, we've lost 50% on our money this year. Made 10% last year, 10% the year before that, but we were only at $500 million. Then we got to $1.5 billion. Now we get to $5 billion, and we lost 50% of our $5 billion. You just blew out $2.5 billion. And these folks all have different arrangements with the hedge fund, some of which are guaranteed return of their money. In other words, I will give you $100 million, but it's not a gambling investment. It is a lending investment. You're paying me 4% interest a year, 5% interest a year, and you're guaranteeing me my $100 million. I want it back now. Well, now $100 million has to come out of $2.5 billion instead of $5 billion. And you got a bunch of these guys coming to the party at the same time going, you lost 50% last year. I don't have confidence in next year's game. Next thing you know, you got $4 billion in redemptions. You've only got $2.5 billion to pay out. Oops. Do you have insurance against your $5 billion? Probably not. Why? You can't get insurance for your $5 billion. Why not? Because you've leveraged it 10 to 1. You can't get insurance on leveraged investments. No insurance guy's going to do that. And so you really have no insurance whatsoever. And this is where these losses become unsustainable, overpowering, and they wipe out a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of hedge funds. And I'm waiting for these shoes to drop in the marketplace. This is what I'm waiting for. And when the banks start off, when a bank like Swiss Bank is the first one, or one of the first ones to say, we had to write off $3 billion in our hedge fund division, or in this division, or this, whatever, this leverage investment area, that is a sign of the beginning of the beginning. This is where it's coming from. And I'm telling you that so-called soft landing recession we keep hearing about, there's no such thing as a soft landing recession. All right. If the GDP of the United States and Canada and Britain and Europe and these back off 0.5 point, 1.5 points, 2 percentage points for quarter after quarter after quarter, the leveraged losses that will be sustained by aggressive hedge funds and their lenders, all their bankers, will be in the trillions of dollars, absolute trillions. And there will be massive meltdowns of entities. And this is the other shoe that has to drop. So there is no soft landing. No, it starts quietly, and then the anvils start to fall. Boom, 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 right in front of you. They start falling, and you realize, oh my God, that entity just lost 5 billion. Those guys lost 2 billion. These guys lost 8 billion. These guys are losing 40 billion. It just keeps going. And then the sovereign wealth funds start to announce issues because they're into everything everywhere. And look, you bought stock in company XYZ, an okay company, but the shares of that company were held on leveraged accounts through derivatives trading. And these entities have got to sell out their stock, and they don't want to sell their stock. So they're brokers or bankers making them sell their stock because their shares are held in trust at financial entity so-and-so against loan such and such. Now the lender has said, we gave you 48 hours to cough up the money to pay off the loan. You didn't pay off the loan. We got to sell the asset you've pledged for the loan. That's the stock in company XYZ. Well, the company XYZ is not doing anything wrong. The company XYZ has got 5,000 employees. They got plants in 2-3 different countries of the world. They sell billions of dollars of merchandise. They make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. The stock is trading at $65 a share. And the entity that leveraged that thing was expecting the stock to go to $120 a share, and it didn't. And now the bank is selling at 65 until they're sold out. The bank can't take 6 months to slowly sell the stock and not hurt the market. The bank has got to cover now because they're on the hook for the whole loan. They sell within minutes at the best price they can get. And if that's a 50% haircut on the stock, it's a 50% haircut on the stock. And this is where leverage can destroy values. And of course, all the innocent shareholders who own, 90% of the company, watching a 10%er get blown out the door, that 10%er just caused the entire company's value to drop by half. And every analyst in the world is going, what's wrong with this company? And the company's going, there's nothing wrong with us. It's our shareholders. We have a shareholder problem here. Well, this is the familiar story with SPACs. And it's not just the former SPACs that we're involved in. It's the 500 SPACs that are out there, of which 300 haven't made a deal, or whatever that number is. 200 haven't made a deal. 300 have made a deal. We're part of the 300. The shareholders of these SPACs are the problem children out there, and they're leveraged with bankers who are merciless and ruthless and say, sell this guy out, get these guys out of here. We had no idea they were this leveraged. We're just figuring out how bad off these guys are because they were desperate. They lost $1 million on that deal. They lost $5 million on that deal. So they leveraged up the next deal to $100 million to try to get their money back. And that deal didn't work out. Now we got to sell everything they own to cover the losses. And they happen to own SoFi. They happen to own Smart Rent. They happen to own ATIP. They happen to own 25 other SPACs. Sell it all. We don't care who SoFi is. We don't care what ATIP does. We can't care. We have to get our capital back from these guys who have leveraged themselves into oblivion. And this is how it goes. This is how the whole thing revs up and rolls over. And I'm not saying it's happening for sure. It may have already happened on some of our stocks. It may continue to happen. And then again, it may not. I don't know. I have no idea how to tell you, and no idea of finding out which hedge funds are over leveraged on stocks that we follow. Nobody knows. And that's because our friends at the SEC are powerless to investigate because these companies aren't in the United States, or there are disclosure rules in place in the USA, but it doesn't apply to leveraged bets, derivatives bets, and short positions. And so we, the public, will not be able to get this information through SEC filings because there aren't any. And as long as the SEC is funded, or let's put it this way, SEC overviewers, the Congress and the Senate, are funded by special interest PACs, political action committees, to reelect these particular people to these positions of oversight, that they will not rule against the industry that is funding these guys. The carnage continues. And at the end of the day, back in 08 and 09, we had the meltdown. And by 2011, it became clearly obvious to every American who was paying attention, and every investor around the world who paid any attention at all. And it was difficult to pay attention in 2011 and 12 to what happened in 08 and 07, because the markets were rolling at that point. But it became obvious that too big to fail became the mantra of Wall Street. And too big to fail means, at the end of the day, even if these monsters screw up, yeah, the manager will get kicked out. Yeah, they'll be fired. New management will take over. But no one's going to jail. The American taxpayer will be forced to bail out the system once again. And it's called socialism, but it's not called socialism in the United States, but it's called socialism everywhere else. And the bailouts of the financial industry will take place courtesy of the U.S. taxpayer on the faith and credit of the American people. And as long as the market keeps going up, none of the American people give a crap. Because why should an American give a crap if their 401k was worth $15,000 5 years ago, and it's now worth $28,000, and it's gaining 14% a year compounded? Why would an American care about whether the banker's got a bailout or not? They're doing okay. And that's the end of the deal. That's the end story. As long as it's good for me, why should I give a crap about anybody else? I can only look after my affairs. I can't look after the entire banking industry. And there's nobody you can vote out of office to change the game, because it's so entrenched. And the CPACs, the political action committees, the PACs, are so massively funded by the players who control the game. You can't unseat these guys. And so look at this, the top leadership of the U.S. top investment bankers. It's the same guys that were there in 08, 09. A couple have retired, yeah, but essentially it's the same people. And it just continues on. And here we are. So welcome to 2022. What can you do to offset it? A few things, but one of the weapons you have, which you didn't know you had until we talked about it a year and a half ago until now, is you can write derivatives yourself. And one of the derivatives you can write are call options on stocks. A very regulated derivative market in Chicago. All disclosure has to be done. I mean, you have to disclose if you own puts and calls, if you're an institutional trader. And so it's a very regulated market with the SEC. It's above board. It's legit. And you're allowed to go gambling there as an option buyer or an option seller all you want. And it doesn't matter how big or small you are. It really almost doesn't matter. There are option players who have $1,000 that buy and sell options all the time. And then there are writers who have $3, $5, $10, $20,000 or more that write options from time to time. There's very few writers versus buyers, as you're aware, having hung out here. But option writers generally have the upper hand in how this game works out. And what they really have is the time factor. That's the secret weapon to options writing. And welcome to the channel. If you're trying to figure out how to make money in a bear market, you've come to the right place. Writing options is the secret to your success. And right now, I think, in my personal humble opinion, there are nightmare scenarios about to come out in the next 6 months to a year of all kinds of entities out there who are over leveraged and are just realizing and about to realize how bad off they are. Had no idea that their clients, these are banks I'm talking about, investment banks and so on, even hedge funds who lend to other hedge funds, these guys Because remember, there's somebody for everybody. Okay, you need a mortgage and you can't get a mortgage from Bank of America, you go to another institution. You go to another bank, another bank. You can't get any bank to lend you money for a mortgage. Where do you go now? You go to the secondary market. You get a private mortgage. You hire a mortgage broker to find you a mortgage. And if they're any good, they'll find you a mortgage. Might be more than you wanted to pay in interest, but you'll get a mortgage. Well, the same thing in the derivatives market, the same thing in the stock market. If you can't get a loan through your broker to do some trading, then you might have to look elsewhere for private lending. Now, you as an individual investor, those of you watching me here, you're not going anywhere private to borrow money. If your broker won't lend you money, you're not going to borrow it. That's as far as it's going to go with you guys. Fair enough. Some of you might go and borrow money against your house. Some of you might borrow money against other assets. Fair enough. That's okay. But hedge funds and other investment pools of capital, they can go to the private market. And there's a huge, huge private market out there. They'll be happy to lend these people money they need to do whatever they want to do. But unfortunately, from time to time, entities that have cash who lend cash out to other entities down the road eventually, and from time to time, those entities, sometimes they blow up and it comes back to roost to the lender. And the lender realizes, oh my God, we had $1 billion and we lent out $1 billion to several hundred borrowers or dozens of borrowers, and a couple of them have leveraged themselves into oblivion, and we've just been wiped out of 15% of our capital. We just lost 150 million of it because we're never getting that back. And now you're dealing with an $850 million pot of money. Now, if that $1 billion is one person's money, then as long as that person wants to keep that business going, it keeps going at 850 million. But if that billion is represented by 10 $100 million investments, which could be 10 other hedge funds, could be 10 very wealthy people, could be 10 sovereign entities out there, sovereign investment funds, who knows who it is. If 2 of those 10 want out, then 200 million wants out. And there's only 850 million from which to get it. And if they're paid out, there's 650 million left to guarantee $800 million. The percentages get worse and worse and worse for those who are left. And once one pulls, they all start pulling. And there are hedge funds out there who I am sure have clauses in their existence that says as soon as 20% of the people want out, we have to liquidate the whole thing because we're done for. And now you've got a problem because we're playing musical chairs and there's chairs missing. People walking around looking to place to sit and nowhere to sit when the lights came on. And here we go. Just saying, that's a brief recap of what might be expected. Is it going to happen today? Probably not. But we've heard this morning, Swiss Bank, more problems were released today. And we heard today, the hedge fund from CP, big problems today that came out today. Not because of today. The news came out today. It's leaking out. And I expect much more of this. Much, much more. From losses already sustained in the market since last November when we hit the all-time highs on the U.S. markets. Because we've had, in the case of NASDAQ, a 30% drop. In the case of S&P, the Dow, over 20% drop. There are outfits out there who were leveraged, I bet you 5, 10, 20, 50 to 1. And if you're leveraged 50 to 1 and you have a 2% drop, you are wiped out. And I wonder, when will these disclosures hit the street? And will it affect them? Will it affect an entity and close it down? Or is it just a little mosquito bite for this entity and they'll continue on? No big deal. We'll find out. Stay tuned. We're waiting to see if Nancy will land in Taiwan. That is what we're wondering about. We know she's left Malaysia. And we know she's headed there. We don't know exactly what time she lands there. And I don't know what kind of public coverage we're going to get, I guess is the thing. I don't know what kind of public coverage we're going to get. There's just a whole lot of tension out there right now between two superpowers and a few others who are watching very, very closely. Of course, last night, I guess the news we would have been talking about today would have been the U.S. drone strike that killed an Al-Qaeda leader in Kabul. We would have been talking about this guy, Ayman al-Zawahiri. We would have been talking about his demise, but it's overshadowed by this other news, and the Nancy Pelosi news is overshadowing that development. We're going to have to see how this all plays out, kids. It's going to be a fun couple of days coming up. Anyway, we are getting closer to opening. I think we're 4 minutes away, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that? Yeah, I think we're just about ready to open. I've got the Dow down 109, third of a point. S&P down 16 points. NASDAQ down 85. So it's not too bad here. Crude oil up 50 cents a barrel. I got GameStop sitting at, looks like 35.08, up 30 cents on 54,000 shares. It's like 12,000, 13,000 shares pre-split. Pretty dead quiet. And we're ready to start trading. Those of you who have been throwing us thumbs ups already during my rant, I do appreciate it. 133 of them are in. And if you're able to hit the thumbs up button for us, I thank you. Give the show a little more momentum. That's always much appreciated. We're going to see how things open up here in 3 minutes as we get going for Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2022 in this market. The title of today's show, How Viewers Profit from Writing Stock Options. And boy, do they ever profit writing stock options. You want to make some money in this market against your portfolio, rather than just having stocks sit in your portfolio and doing nothing. Why not look into the idea of writing options, either against stocks you own or stocks you might want to acquire versus what you own now? You might want to make a few adjustments and get your hands on some shares that you can write options against and bring in some income from your portfolio. I know a number of you out there, you're sitting on $30,000, $50,000, $100,000. It's sitting in accounts through that you acquired this money through work contributions, and you left the job 5 years ago. You don't know what to do with this money. It's just been sitting around, or you have had some kind of a investment advisory service through your bank, and you've been getting 2.5% to 3% a year for 7-8 years. It might be time to look into the idea of perhaps taking over your investments yourself, take the middleman out of it, and those 2-3% fees that have been coming off of your money now are not part of that equation anymore. And you can now take a look at the idea of possibly writing stock options, hanging out with the gang here, this group right here, the members of this channel, very active in writing options and are doing rather well. And you might want to become part of this party right here. Anyway, thank you all for being part of today's show and hanging out with me. We're about to go. We're a minute away, I think. I'm not sure who's ringing the bells this morning to get us started, but we are in the last minute now, about to kick things in. GameStop is hanging on at $35 a share. The Dow is down 119, S&P down 19, and NASDAQ down 99 at the moment. And let's see what happens with this market today. I'm pretty sure there will be headlines crossing the financial market bulletin things when she lands. When the speaker lands in Taiwan, we're going to know about it. We might be shocked or not shocked at how the market reacts. Looks like not Larry Titus out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has hit the bells for us this morning. I think I know exactly who this is. I think we all know exactly who this is. Duncan has hit the bells. JG and Cindy have all stepped in for Larry Titus today. The bells are ringing at a record volume. I think we're open for trading. And I welcome you all to today's mayhem. Great to have you here. Let's see how it all kind of starts off and works out and ends and comes together and everything else. Thank you all for hanging out and being here with us. It's always fun to see how things kind of get going day in and day out. So much going on. A headline, breaking headline: stocks open lower as U.S.-China tensions rise over Taiwan. And we're just waiting for the news that Speaker Pelosi will have landed in Taiwan. We got the Dow at the moment for the opening salvo down 196 right now. I'm waiting for other stocks to sort of open up and start kind of trading here. It looks like GameStop is 35.45. Looks like SoFi is up a nickel at 6.41, and I think Tesla's down $8 to 8.83. That seems to be where we're at. Did you find the cup?
I'm sorry?
You found the cup?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I kept my cup from yesterday.
Oh, good on you, because I left one in the bathroom. Jen and I are dealing with a cup shortage. There's supply chain issues out there.
We're dealing with a brain issue.
Well, that too.
When we go out, we just can't remember.
We can't.
To buy traveling mugs.
We need to buy a couple of travel mugs because we're traveling. And
it's only been an issue since last September.
We've been traveling since last September. We never remember to buy one.
Yeah.
Although sometimes we do remember, but we see the prices of these things and we go, "I'm not going to pay that much money for a stupid traveling cup," and so we don't buy one. We'll buy the net when we see another one. We'll take a look.
We walked right past Tim Hortons. Never even entered my mind.
Never even entered our mind to buy Timmy Hortons travel mugs. We could use a travel mug in this hotel room.
I was so excited
in any hotel
for my
room.
Whistle dog. Nothing else was getting
As soon as Jen saw the Whistle Dog at the A&W, her brain stopped working.
I love Whistle Dog.
And that was it. And
so
we just didn't buy a travel.
So good.
So here we are with the hotels, paper cups. And we don't have the cleaning staff come in our room every day. They'll knock and we're here, give them the garbage, get some new towels. But we forget to ask for new coffee cups because you just don't think that ahead. It's a sad story. It really is. It's two homeless Canadians that are, becoming more disheveled all the time. What can I say? Where's our buddy Larry? Larry's in Jamaica. He's in Jamaica right now with family, having a great time. Nick is here. Good morning, DQ. I've never seen Larry and Nancy Pelosi at the same time. Maybe Larry is actually Nancy. Have you thought of that? Yeah, have you put that together? Good morning, Jen from John Anderson. Mirko, DQ, I think you're onto something. Sell my house in Upper Marlboro. Good morning, number 147. I'm sorry I'm late. Welcome all to the show, the channel. The fun times. Great to have you here. Bring some cups up from breakfast. Yeah, they don't take kindly to people stealing dishes from down there. But I know, I hear you, Mirko. I tell you, it used to be easy, but it's not that easy anymore. The Dow's down 179. S&P's down 14. Nasdaq is down 37. Oil is up 15 cents. And that's what we got going on right now. I'm looking at Pfizer up 55 cents. We have Matterport up 2 pennies to 436. We got Smart Rent at 5.24 down a penny. Tesla down 2.54. SoFi up a dime. Today is earnings day on SoFi, 6.46 right now. And GameStop holding a 97-cent move. 35.75 seems to be our current price. 35.75. The high of the day looks like this is it. This seems to be the neighborhood. 35.93 might even be the high of the day today. And we are looking at very light volume as usual. Let's see if I get my big ass iPad to help me out here. It doesn't want to work at all. It just gives me random numbers. How about this quote? Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to see? I can't get an accurate quote out of my big ass iPad, but GameStop appears to be 35.75, 35.66 as we are grinding to the opening. We're down 205 on the Dow, 16 points lower on the S&P, Nasdaq down 48. The Dow is off 0.6 of a percentage point, the worst performer. S&P down 0.39, Nasdaq down 0.40. There it is. Okay. 35.53 on GameStop at the moment, up 75 cents as we speak. Welcome all. 2 homeless Canadians, 1 cup. It's a sad story. DQ says, Michael Hunt for the win. Flint Creek Soap Company. Good morning, gang. Time to make some soap and some money. Neat. Absolutely. Welcome to the show. Mirko, you shouldn't steal them. Just ask for 2 cups as long as you rented the room. You should be fine. Well, you think we got to just buy a couple of cups. I mean, go to the dollar store, buy a couple. I mean, it's so simple. Gowdy, volume is always dry as hell on GameStop. Alberto, Google, and BA needs to dip now. There we go. Gowdy, you running on GameStop? Flint Creek Soap Company. Kramer. That's right, Kramer. Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to see? You've chosen Brown-Eyed Girl. Oh, I love that. I love that scene. Oh, my goodness. Seinfeld. You got to love Seinfeld. Oh, gosh. Alberto is saying Flint Creek, the lavender soap was unbelievable. So good. How about that? Coyote, Alberto, I wrote yesterday. There you go. Coyote, cool. Okay, great stuff. Where are we at now? Let's take a peek here. We're up 80 cents on GameStop. SoFi up a dime. The Dow down 238. Spire up 9 cents. Apple down 112. AMC up 39. ATIP down 2 cents to 108. Rocket Lab down a penny. Cyxtera down 4. ME down up 4. Google down 20 cents. HBQ down 71 today to 32.96. Some of you out there are sitting on HBQ contracts and you've done some rollovers, and this has got to be good news for some of you guys on the HPQ. Cisco is up 7 cents. We got Home Depot down 327. We have Vanik down 213. IBM down 28. Microsoft down 239. Goldman down 330. Meta Platforms up 3. Amazon down a nickel. Bed Bath Beyond up a penny. BlackBerry up 4. Royal Caribbean down 19 cents. Not much there today. JP Morgan down a buck. Target down 150. Costco down $4. Walmart off 46 cents. Nvidia down 117. Disney down 63. American Airlines down 27. Netflix down 50 cents. Little movements here and there. What's going on BA? Boeing down 491 to 164.12. Alberto, I know, is cheering this. I think you wrote 175s yesterday, so nice. There should be some downside coming. The stock's had a bit of a run here, and a month ago it was sitting at $136 a share. It's 164. That might be time for a little pullback here. Very interesting how this is all working out. The Dow down 263, getting worse. We're looking at the other markets. If I can get this big ass iPad to react and give me the latest. There we go. We're down 23 on S&P, 57 on Nasdaq. The 2 other indexes are not following the Dow lower. They're coming along, but they're not like, oh yeah, we're with you. The Dow is the one backing off 0.84 of a percentage point. S&P down 0.5%. Nasdaq 0.44. That is what's going on at the moment. 35.61 last trade on GameStop. Looks like a gain of 83 cents for the moment. SoFi up 9. Tesla down $7. SmartRent up a penny. Matterport up 3 cents. The Dow off 272. Pfizer up 68 cents. That's where we're at right now. Most of the FANG stocks are lower this morning. Concern out of China, Taiwan. There you go. That's what we got. Flint Creek saying, Alberto, I love that comment. about the lavender soap. Also, shout out to Helen R. Thank you from Flint Creek. Alberto BA, I am loving it, laughing out loud. Loving it. It's going lower, Uncle Bruce. There you have it, my friend. It is working for you. That option right you did yesterday was the right move for sure. Well done. Here we go. Boeing is backing off in some value today. And profit taking, not a surprise, really. There should be some profit taking. Really, there should be. Alrighty, there we go. We've got Boeing right now off $5 to 164.06, and that puts your contract well out of the money. Anyway, Michael, anyone still on SoFi 650s? Question mark. We're at 648 on SoFi right now, up 12 cents. And the DQ says, yes, I am. Nazareth, Michael, I have 6.5 for SoFi this Friday, says Nazareth. Anybody nervous? Ask Mike. I have 7s for this Friday. Alberto, Michael, I bought all of mine back in the anticipation of the financial release. DQ, nervous? No, might have to buy back and take the hit. Michael, I tried, but my stink never hit. Nazareth, not at all. Either get exercised or not. If it goes up a bunch, just roll them. And here is the kind of chat that you get between option writers as you become more and more comfortable doing what you're doing. You just realize that stocks can go up on you. Doesn't matter. You just roll the contract forward. It's easily done. DQ, I'm getting used to this. Hector, I dislike rolling positions. It seems like a defeat. It really isn't. You just have to do the right option shopping. And you can write the same contract, just roll it forward in time, take more money, or you can up your strike price and work it from there. There's ways to make this work, and not to worry about it. Anyway, there you go. We are on the Dow now, off 250 points. We got Boeing down 461, Pfizer up 41, Matterport up 2, Tesla up down 133, SoFi's up 13 to 649, GameStop 35.70 right now. Just around the high of the day, it would appear, if I'm accurate, up 92 cents. 35.93 was the high today on GameStop. We have a volume right now of, I think, 312,000 shares at the moment. From pre-split, this is 75,000 shares, 76,000 shares. A nothing burger is what we have going on here. Not a lot of volume there. GameStop now at 35.70, showing a 92-cent gain. The best level of the day, it would appear. All right. The Dow down 250 at the moment. And the early morning jitters are going through here. Spire is up a dime at 167. Apple down 93. SmartRent up a nickel. AMC up 55. ATIP now unchanged at 110 even. Rocket Lab up 2. Cyxtera down 4 cents. ME up 4 cents. So it's kind of a quiet day on our SPACs. More green than red, I guess. Google down 17 cents. HPQ down 92 to 32.75. Some of you wrote 32s, 32.50s, 33s, 34s. These contracts are working into your direction now. What can I say? Alberto, to all, the closer you are to the market value of the stock, the easier it is to take profits either way up or down. Who cares? Let's rock. Coyote, Hector, not when you're the one who can write into more time. Michael, even if it jumps today or tomorrow, I'll still have 2 more days for profit taking. Hector, I have arrived at gold member status. That is not a defeat. There you go. Zed Estate, good morning, everybody. Number 158 on the thumbs up meter. Thank you, Zed, for that. DQ, wrong way. Tesla 800's the other direction. Olivia, I had lost track, so it was a nice surprise today. Mirko, DQ, do not jinx it, laughing out loud. There you go. We're looking at the Dow now down only 158. Boeing a little better, down 160, down $1.60. Wait, now I see the Dow. Okay, now I don't know what the Dow is doing. Is it down 300? It looks like it's down 300. Pardon me. My device is glitching here. Matterport is off a penny. Tesla down 32 cents, now down $1.23. The Dow off 298. SoFi down is up 7, and GameStop is now up only 60 cents. So we are backing off here on a bit of a wave of selling. The Dow 0.93% lower, just under a percentage point. S&P down 0.57, NASDAQ 0.43. Oil up 62 cents. Welcome to the morning opening, guys. We're waiting for Nancy Pelosi to land in Taiwan. There are tensions out there because of that, and we are just waiting to see how it goes. The Chinese have made it clear they're not happy about this, and we're just watching. Shanghai index falls 2.3%, we're just waiting now. Speaker to spend the night in Taipei. Apparently, she's going to spend the evening there. The China's foreign ministry warned of strong countermeasures, but declined to detail what those measures would be. Talk about a country that is just nervous as hell. The Chinese, just because Speaker Pelosi visits Taiwan, they are threatening all kinds of, stuff because the Speaker of the House is visiting Taiwan. I mean, my God, insecure or what? Yeah, unbelievable. What can I say? It is what it is. The Dow off 242, and Tesla's up $6, turned around. SoFi up to 650, up 14 cents. GameStop up $1.08 to 35.86. The markets have turned again to a more positive setting on some of our followings, although the Dow is off. It's quite amazing how this goes. The Visa, Caterpillar and Visa share losses lead the Dow nearly 250 points lower. There's where we're at. The NASDAQ's about to go positive. It's down only 8 points. It's trying to come around. S&P down 14.9. The Dow down 247. All right. There you have it. Boeing down 403 again. Another little dip there. All right. Uncle Bruce, 32.50 GameStop strike expiring this Friday. Is it time to roll? What do you think? Check out Option Chains and just check it out. Look, if you can buy back your 3250s and turn around and either write a new set of 3250s for next Friday or the Friday after that, and you can get more cash in your account, that might be the move you make. If you can buy back your 3250s for this Friday and write 33s or 3350s for next Friday, the Friday after that, or the Friday after that, for what it costs you to buy the 3250s, or you can get even more, I would look at that deal. So Zed, you can always move your strike up if you want to, bit by bit, and do it for no cost. You have until Friday to work it. Just a question of whether you get exercised or not, obviously, in the meantime. If you do get exercised, you get your 3250 plus your premium that you got paid, and then you buy the stock and do it again. Let's see what's going on. Pick knows what is happening with Hewlett Packard, HPQ. What is going on? We're down 73 cents to 32.94. Option writers unite. DQ, guess I did. He's saying to Mirko. Oh man, says Mirko. Michael, according to the Indian news, war already started. Laughing out loud. There you go. All right. We are down 265 on the Dow. We got GameStop up 106 to 35.84. Looks like this is the high of the day. It would appear. The high 35.93, just below the high of the day. Boeing down 421. The Dow down 260. Tesla up $8. SoFi at 652. Earnings day today, up 16 cents. And GameStop 35.84 to 35.85 at the moment. Welcome to the party, pal. There's what we're watching. All kinds of stuff going on here. Waiting to find out how things will go in Taiwan. That's what we're wondering about when Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi arrives. She's expected to arrive in Taiwan, setting off standoff with China, says New York Times. It's the highest level visit by an American official in 25 years and a diplomatic coup for Taiwan. China bristles at any perceived challenge to its claims on the self-ruled island nation. Get updates on Mrs. Pelosi's trip from the New York Times, according to those guys. And well, we'll just see what's going on. Never a dull moment. Let's go. What else is happening here? Washington Post, Taiwan braces for Chinese show of force with Pelosi set to visit. The trip has drawn outrage from Beijing, which has sought to isolate Taiwan and views such exchanges with foreign dignitaries as support for formal independence. White House warns China not to overreact to potential Pelosi visit to Taiwan. And that's the latest from the Washington Post. Well, we'll find out what, we'll find out soon enough, kids. We'll be here. Okay. Mirko, I thought we could get out of the position before Thursday. Seems that's kind of on the table. A Coyote, 599,000, pathetic volume, just broke 36. Laughing out loud. Game's up 35.99 right at the moment. Pick knows I have a lot of cash laying around. Picked off ATIP when it was sub 105 last week, but I want to open a new position. Mirko, so we need our arms to fold a little longer. Alberto, fold them arms, family. Mirko, or is it cross your arms? You know what I mean. Fold, cross your arms. What should we do? 35.96 last trade on GameStop. We hit 36.12. That's been the high. The high of the stock in the last few weeks, $40.50 approximately, $40.50, when for a moment it hit 162 a few weeks ago before the split. What was it, 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks Wednesday or something like that? Anyway, 35.91 right now. Bama Babe, all my little SPACs are green at the moment except for Sixtera. Very interesting. Alberto, Mirko, cross, but I was following your comment, you can cross or fold your arms, whatever you need to do. It's all good. The Dow is down 292, pushing 300 right now. That's 0.94 of a percentage point, approximately. NASDAQ is backed off a bit again, 35 points lower, but not a lot. Quarter of a point, 0.32, a third of a point. Not even a serious run here. S&P down 0.58, down 24 points. The Dow down 307 now, 307. SoFi 655, up 19 cents. GameStop 114 higher at 35.84. There's the latest. We're green on ME, Sextera, Rocket Lab, ATIP. We're green on SmartRent, Spire, SoFi, Matterport. We're green on all our former SPACs. Boeing down 453 to 164.54 right now. All right. Pick notes. Maybe I'll buy more HPQ if it nears 30 instead of GameStop. Maybe I'll grab some of that. There you go. 35.67, 35.68 on GameStop. 35.70 in this neighborhood. High of the day, 36.12 for GameStop. Oh my, Sextera just went green. Oh no. They're all green. How about that? Uber is cash flow positive as rides, delivery, and revenue beat expectations. Interesting. Daly, one of the Fed governors, I believe, says it's terribly hard on economy for Fed to raise or lower rates quickly. They're not going to they're not going to lower rates quickly. No way is the Fed going to lower rates. You do not believe that talk. Whatever you hear from so-called experts, oh yeah, they're going to raise rates to 3%, then they'll lower them next year. Not going to happen. No, inflation is going to take 2 to 3 years to get rid of, and even then, prices aren't going back down to where they were. Those of you who don't know how inflation works, they don't go back. They stay up, and they stay where they are and that's the new normal. The days of certain priced items being where they were is over. Things have completely changed out. We're down 340 now on the Dow Jones, 1.05% lower, 56, the 58-point drop on NASDAQ, 0.48, S&P down 29.72. The markets are backing off more. We're down 520 on Boeing. Pfizer holding a 16-cent gain, but that was higher. We got Matterport up 3, Tesla up $2, but it's slipping. SoFi up 14, GameStop up 78, Spire up 9, Apple down 152, SmartRent up 14, AMC's up 84 cents to 16.21. I have no idea why. ATIP up a fifth of a penny, Rocket Lab up a nickel, Cyxtera, we're red now, down a penny on Cyxtera, ME up 6.5. Google down 60 cents, HPQ down 96 to 32.70, Cisco down 18, Twitter up 26 cents to 41.14, Home Depot down 3.17, Vanik down 2.43, IBM down 1.10, Microsoft down 4.80, finally giving up some ground here. Goldman down 4, Meta down 41, Amazon still up 28 cents. Royal Caribbean is up 17 as well. Costco down 3.38, Walmart down 36, Nvidia down 1.30, Disney down 46 cents. American Airlines down 21, Netflix down 23 cents, Moderna up $1.82, Intel down 69 cents, Micron down 109. And that is where we're at here on this early opening time, now about almost a half hour into the day. Boeing down 5.31, the Dow down 3.36. GameStop 75 cents higher right now. Nick, Uncle Bruce, what happened? Did the war start already as predicted? What's going on? Oh, you kids. What can I say? We're down 328 on the Dow. I'm wondering if China will put in like they might cancel orders for U.S. goods like Boeing jets. They might cancel orders, or they might put a 25% tariff on any stuff from John Deere. Will they add tariffs on U.S. goods in retaliation? Will they kick out half the U.S. embassy staff? Will they just freak out? They'll just freak out. I don't know. Time will tell about all this. It's an overnight stay for Nancy Pelosi. This isn't like a 2-hour hi, how are you, and we'll see you later. No, I'm going to stay overnight. This is a pretty strong statement from the Speaker of the House. Don't tell Americans where they can go, and especially don't tell me where I can go. That's guts. Not a lot of world leaders are of this caliber, of this kind of determination to assert American values and visit where they want. I got to hand it to her. That's pretty cool. We'll see how this plays out. What does it mean when the bid is 0 and the ask is like 75? It probably means that there's a glitch in the account. There's a glitch in the computer systems. I don't know. My rollovers won't fill, says Spicy Android. Mirko, the buyers won't pay anything and the sellers want 75. I wouldn't really worry about it too much. I mean, if you're looking to sell or are you looking to buy, I'm not sure where you're at on this. I suspect. Are you talking about? Okay, again, I don't know. So I'm not sure who I'm talking to. Mirko's got a question and Spicy Android, so I don't know who I'm not sure what's going on. There's no buyer at the moment. Jesus, savior, irresponsible by this administration. Why taunt China in the first place? Makes no sense. Not my SoFi, no glitch, no buyers. Not my SoFi. That's a liquidity at play. It could be liquidity. I don't even know what we're talking about. What is no bid offer 75? I have no idea what we're dealing with here. What are you quoting me? I'm in the dock here. I have no idea. So 35.66 on GameStop. We're backing up now about 40 some odd cents, 45 cents from the high of the day. The Dow down 282 at the moment, a little better, not by much, but a bit. See what's going on. Okay. Welcome, folks, to the Crazy Town trading. Welcome to Crazy Town. Oh my gosh. There you go. Here's a headline here. I'm just reading this. Must be fit or active or digital native. How ageist language keeps older workers out. There you go. There it is. I found that over the years when I was managing the brokerage firm that I was running, I had 25 stockbrokers and I had 15 support staff. From time to time, I would need to hire a new support staffer for my office, my back office. And I found, and I was at the time the branch manager. I was 26, 27 years of age. I was just a young punk. But I already knew at that time, this would be like what year was this? 1983, 84. Yeah, I was 29 even. I was smart enough at that point to know that between my assistant manager and I, when we needed a new staff member, like say a new receptionist, we could try and hire a young, attractive young gal to run it, or we could hire someone with real experience. Like we could hire a 55-year-old, someone who's been a receptionist for 10 years, takes no flack from anybody, and is a no-nonsense person and gets stuff done. And I would go after those people because they were always on time. They didn't have drama in their lives that infected the office or came to work with them. They had experience through good days, good months, bad months, and they were just more dependable. And they demanded co-workers perform, and they performed. It lifted the people around them. My stockbrokers didn't mess with a 55-year-old receptionist. My young male stockbrokers would hang out at the reception desk if there was a 25-year-old receptionist sitting there, and they wouldn't be working. They'd be just fantasizing about going out on a date with this gal. With my older employees, my brokers realized this is a working environment. I'm not here to, pick someone up during business hours. That's after hours. What you do in the evenings is up to you. I did the same with my staff that worked for me personally. I started hiring older workers, and I just got way more efficiency done. Got much more accomplished. It was really interesting how it where other brokerage firms went after all the young kids and the young pretty girls for certain assistant jobs, and the young hotshot stockbrokers to bring in as new investment advisors. I was the opposite. I went after experience, and I didn't have to explain as much, and I didn't have to explain it twice. Or my assistant manager didn't have to retrain employees to get stuff right, or they didn't make dumb mistakes, or they knew enough when they were stumped about something to pick up the phone and ask somebody else for advice rather than be embarrassed about doing this. Just experience. That's all. What about this? So these headlines here I find interesting, how so many corporations out there make the terrible mistake of hiring young workers for cheap, and then their company pays many times the salary of that individual in mistakes and lack of productivity and so on. It really is almost laughable how it happens again and again and again. Anyway, what can I say? Uncle Bruce, Nick, saying, Uncle Bruce, something's happening at AMTD. It is up 345%. I wish I had a position in this stock. Why wouldn't you? Well, who wouldn't want to have a position in the stock that's up like that? But these are stories that come and go all the time, and this is not a common thing. It's a once in a while thing, and you got to just keep moving on with what we know. Spicy, should I roll my 35 call on GameStop expiring on the 19th? 19th? No, I wouldn't worry about that at all. No, I'd just sit tight. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. No, not right now. The stock's 35.59, 35.46. No, I wouldn't roll at all. If the shares drop, under 35 today, and they go into the 34 range and 33 range, and you're making a profit, buy them back if you want. But otherwise, I'm looking, if the stock's back, if the stock hits 36.12 and then just backs off, you got nothing to worry about. No, I wouldn't worry about it. Thumbs, thank you. Mirko, Spicy, I wouldn't. You have a lot of time. Exactly. This is way too soon to worry about a rollover, really. 4.2 million U.S. workers quit their jobs in June. That's the latest report. Job openings dropped below 11 million for the first time since November 2021. 2021, we haven't had that. It's to 10.7 million from 11.3 million. So the slowdown is on, but it's still a workers' market. 4.2 million people quit their jobs in June, said, goodbye, boss. I'm out of here. And boy, there are jobs that I can see people quitting and saying, I'm out of here. I'm not taking this crap anymore. I can make just as much money or more money doing that job than doing this job. Why would I tolerate this tension and this hatred and whatever? And I can imagine airport workers are a big bunch of people who've quit jobs in the last 6 months. A lot of people at the airport have walked away from the crap they're getting from travelers and from employers and what have you. I can just imagine. Anyway, Coyote, that sounds like excellent news. I think it is excellent news. The job openings at 10.7 million, it's fantastic. 4.2 million quitting their jobs, fantastic. The reorganization of employment is still ongoing. We're talking about, at 4 million a month, we're talking almost 50 million people a year quitting jobs. Now, they're not quitting and walking away. Don't think that these people became unemployed. They've got another job. They quit because they got something better. The turnover is happening, and that means people are moving up in the economic ladder by doing this. How many of you have personally had this happen to yourselves, someone in your family, a former coworker, a friend, where, they quit that job and took that job and they got 20% more pay or 15% or 30%, or they got way more benefits, or the new employer, oh, wow, are they happy where they are now compared to where they were? How many times have you heard this? 4.2 million in a month. Again, this is what's happening. These aren't people quitting a job and getting a lower paying job. These are people quitting a job and getting probably as much money and more benefits, or more money and more benefits. And there are those out there who are leaving one area of the country and moving to an entire other area of the country where maybe the cost of living is lower, maybe the pay is higher, maybe the taxes are lower, state taxes and so on, and opportunities are higher. People who have, quit jobs where they are low-level grunts and they've moved into a middle management position over here based on all the experience they built up here, but the employer wouldn't move them up. They were able to take those skills and move up. You can't blame people for this. How many of those 4.2 million people are viewers of this channel and have become self-employed option writers? 100,000? 50? 1? I don't know. There's somebody. There's got to be somebody. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, JL, SoFi never catches a break. Should be a great earnings call. Then Pelosi and 100 of her friends take a junket and a shopping trip to Taiwan. DQ, JL, Mark, can't beat the local prices. There you go. Oh, man. We've got SoFi 642 up 6 cents. Tesla down 360. GameStop now 35.48 up 70 cents. The Dow Jones down 318 right now at the moment. There it is. Interesting how it's lower and a lot of our SPACs are higher. Spire's up 8.5. SmartRent up 24. Coming back from yesterday's losses, coming back. AMC still up 90. ATIP up 2.5 to 112.5. Rocket Lab up 3. Sixtera is green, unchanged now, green. ME up 9.5. So yeah, funny. Everything else red there. Google's red. HBQ down 110. Cisco's down. Twitter's down. Home Depot's off. Robinhood is negative. Vanik is down. IBM, Microsoft, Goldman, U.S. Steel, Meta, Amazon, Bed Bath & Beyond, all red. They're all down. Target, JP Morgan, Costco, Walmart, Nvidia, Disney, eBay, American Airlines, Netflix, Snowflake, all red. Workday is red. Micron, Intel, Coinbase, AT&T, EA, Electronic Arts, all in the red. Texas Instruments is red. Hycroft Mining 108 in the red as well. There you go. Just that's the kind of day it is. Down 474 on the Boeing company. 20-cent gain on Pfizer at 50.82. The Dow down 343, 1.05%. S&P down 0.83, NASDAQ 0.78. These two indexes are catching up to the Dow now. They're coming up to the negative numbers of the Dow. Oil only up 13 cents a barrel. That is what's going on. Carvana stock price target cut to 64 on Carvana from 80 by Bank of America. That's not easy to say, but if I just would read the headline, it would be easier. What can I say? Thank you all for being here this morning, hanging out with us, watching activity here. When will GameStop turn into the red like the rest of the market? I don't know. We'll find out. Sooner or later, it can't keep going higher. 891,000 traded on GameStop, not even a million. And this is after the split. We're sitting on 220-something thousand shares pre-split volume. You can't hold these prices with that kind of money. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. We'll see. When it collapses, it will collapse. It'll back up. But hey, I did read something about NFT sales. NFTs are holding, but not accelerating. They may have even backed up a little bit last week, but they're it's not it's not going into the billions of dollars of transactions. So I don't know. See how that plays out. The NFT marketplace. The Dow now down 345, 1.08%. Look at that. Oil down is up only a nickel now. Oil is about to go red. 93.94 a barrel in Texas. We're going to go red on oil the way it looks like it's going. GameStop up 73 cents to 35.50 something now, 35.59. SoFi up 8. Tesla up 60 cents. Matterport up 7 to 441. The Dow down 320. Pfizer up 19 and Boeing down 438. There you go. Zed Estate BC. Uncle Bruce, is it better to roll while GameStop is going up or when it's stable? What do you think? There's never a perfect time. This is why I mentioned to you, all of you out there, if you have options outstanding on like a GameStop and they're moving up, you want to keep an eye on your options tables. You want to see what all the options are trading at, the ones where you are for the time frame you have and the expiry range you are, plus or minus, and then going forward next week, the week after, and the week after. You want to trend and keep track of where options are going that are, where you might be headed to next if you were to do a rollover. And if you see your contracts trading too low, the ones you've written, they're trading too low in relation to how the market is doing, and you can buy back your calls at an artificially low price because they're just available. And you can write new calls that are same strike price, a higher strike price, down the road a few weeks, and it brings you more cash and a higher strike price. That's a win-win. You do the roll now. Do the roll in a rising market, sure. Or you do the roll in a falling market or a flat market or closer to expiry. There's never the perfect moment. It's just when the trade shows itself, and that's why you keep an eye on it. Absolutely. 35.73 on the GameStop shares right now, up 97 cents. That's what we got going on. We're watching, of course, out of the corner of our eye, we're keeping an eye on other items like interest rates. We're watching how interest rates are behaving. The U.S. Treasury was sitting as low. You were getting a yield as low as 2.53. Now it's 2.63. This is all in the last half hour. So Treasury yields are bouncing around. Germany has also spiked a bit from 0.70 to 0.76. Italy from 2.79 to 2.93. So rates are driving up again. Spain was sitting at 176. Now it's 189, looks like. The UK was this morning at 1.71. It's now 1.79. There's movement there. On the currency markets, the euro is now down to 101.98. It's backing off. The pound is backing off, 121.97. The yen is giving up a little bit of ground, about a half a penny since this morning. Asia's markets were down 1.5% to 2.5%. Europe's markets just slightly in the red, 0.1 of a point on the FTSE. DAX is a third of a percent lower. CAC 40 in France, 0.4% roughly. That is the latest there. In the USA, the Dow is off 307, S&P down 26, NASDAQ down 56. And yet money is coming into America for a safe place to be, but it's coming out of the equities into the treasuries. That's what was happening this morning in the pre-market and the first few minutes of the day. 35.85 on GameStop now. 35.80 up 102 at the moment. The high of the day, 36.12. It looks like for GameStop shares. That looks like the high has been the high trade of the day. 36.12. Okay. All righty, let's move over to here. Thank you, by the way, for these thumbs ups today. 179 are in. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, look at this. Olivia sent me a message. She's been a member now for 13 months. I'm using this free thing to celebrate becoming a gold bagel member today. Cheers, Bruce. Thank you, Olivia, for getting you've got your avatar turning gold for a full year of following this channel. That is beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. She's a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member who's now been here a year, and I thank you very, very much. Those of you who are joining us or watching us just casually, I appreciate you being here. If you've subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. If you've become a member of this channel, either at the Chillin' with Uncle Bruce level or at the Gold Bagel membership level, I thank you as well. If you join me as a Gold Bagel member up here, you get to join us before 8:30 in the morning for trade alert updates, and also Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock prime time with Uncle Bruce, just for Gold Bagel members. If you're a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member, you get to, of course, make the comments right over here. Use the emojis all you want, including the coveted neat emoji that means everything to the markets, makes your stock go where you want it to go. It's so simple. You become a member and start popping this emoji up, just like I'm doing right now, and the next thing you know, Stocks you want to go up, start going up. Stocks you want to go down, start going down. It's miraculous. Sometimes it takes a day or two to kick in, but it's pretty good. Neat emojis are powerful weapons that we use on this channel. And sometimes these neat attacks take over the entire chat of the channel. And it is amazing to watch how the stampede of knees come in, because the Knights of Knee are very powerful. You don't mess with these guys. If you've ever seen a Monty Python movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Aurora knows what I'm talking about. Moon Man Moo knows what I'm talking about. You do not mess with the knee emojis. Richard Carlin knows exactly what I'm talking about with the knee emojis. Splair TV, Bill, you can just see it happening here. Bama Babe, here they come. The knees are coming in, and there is no way to stop the knee emojis once they start. They have a life of their own. Bill is here with his knee emojis. Don't even think of getting in the way of DQ and the knee emojis. It just is not worth your life. Unlike Mr. Takagi, Mr. Takagi will not be joining us for the rest of his life. He did not use the knee emojis when he should have, and unfortunately, he will not be joining us for the rest of his life. Thank you all for being here and hanging out. Moon Man Moo, thank you for those knee emojis, and everybody else. Pop them up there, and the markets will behave the way you want. Not my SoFi gone, all gone. There they come. Alex is in there. There they go, Alex. There they are. Awesome sauce stuff. They're just coming on in one after the other. Neat. My goodness. It's exciting stuff. Alex, welcome to the neat emoji attack that's happening here right now. Nice to have you here. And here's another bunch from Alex. Look at that. You can't stop the neat emojis. Once they come out, they just take over. It's truly, it's moving. It really is. It's absolutely, it's so emotional. And the knees work. There you see. Well, like I said, you bring them out, and things happen, man. Things start to move in the way you want them to move. As simple as that. Damn, my MTTR getting probably exercise today. Neat. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to get exercise today. Just because the shares go through 450 doesn't mean you get exercise. That doesn't happen. 443 up 9.5. We've got Pfizer up 31, Boeing down 481. The Dow down 250, Tesla up 595, SoFi up 9, GameStop 114 higher, 35.90, 192 right now is what I see. And thank you all for following us. We have 186 thumbs ups. We need 14 more to nail 200 today, and I think it's going to happen during my show here. Thank you all so much for being here and nailing those neat emojis and hitting those thumbs ups. It is wonderful. I thank you all very much. Yes, indeed. It's green on the SPACs, negative on the Dow. Boeing is off 485. Pfizer's up 34. And we noticed today that HPQ gave up some ground today. HPQ is sitting at 32.59, down 109. We have our 32, 32.50, 33, 33.50 option writers who are all going, this is interesting. Our options are dropping in value here with the stock backing off, which means they're cheaper to buy back whenever we feel like doing so. And those of you who have Friday expiries, kind of laughing all the way here. This is pretty good. What happened to Rocket Lab? It's up a little bit today. Cindy is here at number 188 on the thumbs up meter. Thank you for letting us know, Cindy, as you always do. I appreciate it. Let us know what thumbs up number you guys are. 191 now just came through. H. Gregory just hit the knee emojis. Oh, man, when that happens, look out. That's going to move things. Thank you, H. Gregory, for hitting the neat emojis. They're coming up like crazy. Can't stop this. The momentum is just too powerful. The market will succumb. There you go. 35.90 to 95 on GameStop. SoFi 642. Tesla up 430 to 896. Matterport 443.5, up 9.5 today. That's what we've got going on. We're down $5 on the old Boeing shares. Spire up a dime, 167. Apple down 140. Smart Rent up 23. AMC up 89. ATIP up 2. Rocket Lab up 7 cents. Sextera's up 7. ME up 14 to 293. Look at that action. Holy moly. Macaroni down 111. HPQ 32.56. The low today, 32.47. Putting those 32.50s right in the crosshairs, aren't they? Amazing. 163.94 on Boeing, down 513. What a day. Oh man. Alex, hey Bruce, I've got to go at the I've had a go at the aggressive option strategy on SoFi in advance of earnings tonight. I need some volatility now. There you go. We'll watch for that. Up a nickel on SoFi, 641. We've been jumping around on SoFi today already. You'll see how this all plays out. We're coming up to the 2-hour mark of the show, and I thank you all for being with me today. And Jennifer, we're going to take a break here in a little bit, get ourselves some breakfast, and get ready for this afternoon's final hour. Keep your eye on the markets. We'll keep an eye on Nancy Pelosi and what's happening there. And oh my goodness, there is just so much going on. I don't know. It's going to be something. Yes, we're going to see how this all plays out when she gets there. Oh my! So much activity. It's going to be something. We have 194 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for bringing those in to me. 6 to go, and we've got 200 sitting here. We're so close, just so close to 200 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. I'll see if I can get some encouragement out there for some thumbs ups. Get those knee emojis going again. See if any of you can find some thumbs ups to hit for us. Get us over 200 thumbs ups today. I thank you all. 195, 5 to go. Here we go. Let's pop some of these thumbs ups here right there as well. Get those going. 195, 5 to go, and we've got 200 thumbs ups. Thank you, one. Thank you all for helping me out. Get us over 200 of them. We'll even hit the buzzer sign. You know how we love the buzzer, and of course, zzz, 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 can't miss that one. And then we'll do a little variety of all the emojis that you can hit whenever you want. Tons of emojis are available to be nailed. Here we go. 195 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. Here we go. Some more emojis for you. Oh, look at all those emojis. Oh, even ketchup and grape jelly. I mean, come on. And a curling rock. I mean, and a cowbell. I mean, I need more cowbell. The only prescription. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. There you go. Fabulous. Flint Creek. I wish everyone could taste the tomato I just ate atop a sesame seed bagel with butter and cracked pepper. Oh, my goodness. 198 thumbs ups. I need cowbell. That's the only prescription is more cowbell. There we go. Thank you, everybody. 199 thumbs ups. Here they come, baby. We're coming in. We're coming in for 200. Get some more knee emojis out there. Oh, my gosh. Thank you all so much for helping out, getting us to 200 thumbs ups. There it is. 202. You can't stop this. You just can't. It's an overpowering force. Thank you. The Dow down 253. What can I say? 35.91 on the GameStop, 35.86 now on GameStop, 640 on SoFi, 905 up $13 on Tesla. Why it's going up, I don't know. It just is. Matterport up 9 to 443, Pfizer up 37, Boeing down 521. There you go. All of you guys, thank you so much for all your support, your kind words, your emojis, your thumbs ups. You guys are great. I love you. And we're getting ready for the afternoon show at 3 o'clock today. Tomorrow, don't forget, primetime live, 8 o'clock with your buddy, Uncle Bruce. We'll be ready to roll tomorrow night. If you have any questions, Gold Bagel members, join us then, okay? In the meantime, keep an eye on your markets and see how your option chains shift as this continues to happen. And we'll review with you later today how you're doing. Keep me posted on how your contracts are faring. And we will see if we can find a way to keep cashing in on these contracts. Do not fear the upside. I do not think there's need to fear the upside. 209 thumbs ups are now here. 209. You got to love this. Fantastic. Jeff Bezos' parents purchased second Miami waterfront home for $44 million. Congratulations. You're going to need some housekeepers if you buy a house that big. I think it's going to cost you a lot of money. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. All right, folks, thank you for popping in and seeing us. I appreciate it. We're sitting at $36 on the GameStop, 36.02, trying to go a little higher here as we're coming into the final stretch of this show. We'll see up a little later. Serenity now on GameStop. Splair, I will make some ads from our community in my new work on the working phone we have already pre-installed as well. Stocks, Splair. Enjoy the day, y'all. And Gayote, amazing. Thank you all. 35.96, 36.02. Jumping around. Volume on GameStop now, 1.12 million. So 253,000. Is that the pre-split number? Very quiet morning here at the moment. SoFi 642, Tesla 907, the Dow down 250, and we'll see what happens with this. A visit to Taiwan by Speaker Pelosi will be there. All right, guys, I'll see you later today at 3 o'clock for the final hour, and let's see what this market brings us. All right, thanks again for everything, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.